Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching the brand new edition of To The Point. I'm Kriti Mishra. And on today's show, I have a very special guest. Law and Justice, Electronics and IT and Telecommunications Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. So welcome to Sabha Television and thank you so much for joining us. So first and foremost, of course, we're going to talk about the OTT and social media guidelines that the government has issued. Now, there is a raging debate, restriction, regulation. There is a need to control social media, to the abuse of social media. Just wanted to understand, why were these guidelines needed? What prompted the government to take this step?
Let me first make the ground rule very clear to the Raj Sabha TV viewers. The government appreciates the role of social media in empowering ordinary citizens. They are asking questions, they are criticizing, they are getting informed. They have got the right to ask questions from ministers like Ravi Shankar Prasad. Prime Minister criticized the government. Social media are free to do business in India. And for the sake of viewers, WhatsApp users 53 crores, YouTube users 44.8 crores, Facebook users 41 crores, Instagram users 21 crores, Twitter 1.75 crores. More than 130 crores. Do business in India, make good money, empower ordinary Indians, no problem. The issue is not of use of social media. The issue is of abuse and misuse of social media. When I get repeated complaints that a woman's photograph is being shown on morphed way, what should I do? When repeatedly two young boyfriend and girlfriend after splitting, the image of the girlfriend is being shown as revenge porn, what should I do? When terrorists are openly instigating for hashtag farmer suicide, what should I do? When from across the border, terrorists are fomenting their messages in the most unbridled manner, impinging upon national security, what should I do? The second, it was not my concern, it was the concern of court as well. In the Pranjula case, the Supreme Court has directed us to frame the guideline. By January, we filed an affidavit to the Secretary. Parliamentary Committee on Sex Abuse of Women, on Children's Sex Abuse, have been raising concern. In 2018, there was a debate in the Parliament on fake news. News is okay, the issue is fake news. Thereafter, the House took a commitment from me that the government will reinforce the guideline and also take action against fake news, etc., etc. This background is very, very important to be noted. We had an elaborate consultation with the stakeholders. There was a draft, then counter comment, etc., and then this has been framed. What is the main features? Number one, we are enabling a grievance mechanism for the users of social media to have their grievance settled of misuse and abuse. They'll file a complaint, you register in 24 hours, dispose of it in 15 days, and give a monthly report to the government. You do on your own, be very clear about it. Then significant social media. What is significant social media? A social media having a user base of 50 lakh plus. You appoint a grievance officer, a nodal officer, a compliance officer. And they should be a resident in India. People should know, file their complaint. And last two, and that's very important. If you are showing a woman with a morphed image, you are seeking to defame a person based upon falsehood, or you are raising issues impinging upon national security, safety, other things for the country in the fight against terrorism. If directed, you have to remove that within 24 hours by the court order and by the authority. And lastly, you will have to disclose the source who began the mischief. Kisne khurafat shuru kiye. Not in ordinary cases, but only in cases impinging upon national security, safety, integrity of India, fight against terrorism, showing a woman in bad light, in sexual act, etc., morphed image, offenses which can lead to conviction for 5 years and more. तो आपको ये बताना पड़ेगा ये खुराफात शुरू किसने की. Let the minister Ravi Shankar Prasad clearly declare on Rajya Sabha TV, I don't want the content. If a particular message becomes viral, we know what is the content. This began from outside India, then who started in India? Let me ask you a question. In cases of mob lynching, you may have heard on the same day, on the same issue, in the same area, around the same time, lakhs and lakhs of messages are circulated and recirculated, made viral, based upon falsehood, leading to mayhem, communal violence. So these are the obligation which you have to follow. In case of significant social media, 3 months' time have been given to set your house in order, and the ordinary can start it from immediately. This is as far as social media is concerned. Therefore, in very nutshell, I have explained the main features of these.
Absolutely, sir. And you also talked about Parliament. So I'm reminded of your statement on the floor of the Rajya Sabha, wherein you said that multinational companies or social media companies are invited to do business in India, make money, but follow the law of the country, follow the law of the country. So you've also said that internet imperialism will not be allowed. I'm intrigued to know what do you mean by when you say that internet imperialism will not be allowed?
I'm happy you have asked me this question. Internet is a global phenomenon, and those who invented internet needs to be complimented. But internet is no more the monopoly of anyone. It belongs to the humanity. Okay? Because internet has broken the borders. It is the virtual world, not the physical world. What is happening in Latin America, in Brazil, Argentina, you can know in Delhi at a click of a button, and vice versa. Therefore, I have said that if it is a global phenomena, it must have linkage with the local ideas, local culture, local tradition, and most important, local laws and constitution. What I mean by internet imperialism? They are big companies. We salute their technological innovations. But they should not think that dunya hum hi chalayenge. We shall run the world. They must learn to respect democracies. And then I had asked that question in the Parliament. If something wrong happens on the Capitol Hill in Washington, where invaders go and raid it, 8 people are killed, you support police action? And when in New Delhi, aggressors attack our Lal Killa, the pride of India, where our Prime Minister hoists the national flag, you in a way support the aggressors? Police people are made to jump in ditches of 20 feet depth to save their lives. It is not a word concern for me. This is plainly unacceptable, this double standard. If American democracy is important, I appreciate that Indian democracy is equally important. I hope you understand. This is what I mean. You do your business, become a giant corporation, have crores of followers, earn tons of money, criticize the government, but follow the laws and constitution of India. And most important, follow the tradition and sentiments of India. And you cannot have an outlook that we will run the world as we think is right in our understanding. It is a different world, different sentiment, different expectations. Therefore, I have said, any kind of internet imperialism of few select big giant companies is plainly not acceptable. I hope I am very clear.
So that's a very, very valid point that you're making. But I'm also reminded of a certain section which says that this is a way to silence the critiques. This will lead to censorship. How would you refute those charges?
If 30 crore people are using social media, did I say anything about that? I repeat, they can criticize Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they can criticize me, they can criticize my government, they can ask questions. But and mind you, in none of this the government is coming into play at all. The government is only asking the social media platform, you please create that architecture. Give the scope for your users to complain against the abuse and misuse of social media, not of use of social media. One thing more we have said. Please allow for a mechanism for voluntary verification of the account of the users. I use a word, जो हमें ज्ञान देते हैं रोज, सवाल पूछते हैं, उनका हम स्वागत करते हैं. लेकिन ज्ञान देने वाले कौन हैं, अपने को वेरीफाई करें ना, अपने से करें. You go on social media, there are many unknown accounts. You don't know. Therefore, we have said, we shall not intervene. You, social media, please make a provision for voluntary compliance for voluntary verification, of the users. Therefore, in none of this the government is coming into play at all. We have laid an architecture. You create, you voluntarily follow. Now, coming to the OTT part, I must explain what we have said. The content must be classified by you. We have not provided for any censorship. The classification of OTT, not good for children, only for adults, have five classifications. And those must be properly outlined as headlines when the program starts, including parental guidance, including lockup by the president, by their parents. Don't forget one thing, Kriti, that these are public platforms. YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or Twitter. Anyone can see it, na? OTT also, which you see in home or otherwise, must have these provisions. No censorship, but these self-regulations are important. Secondly, you have a grievance officer, you must have it like that. Then you must have a self-regulation mechanism of retired High Court, Supreme Court judges, eminent editors, where a person aggrieved by that can go and complain. Let me ask you a question. When you show Rajya Sabha TV, and if something wrong is brought to your notice by the system or the regulator, don't you say, we are sorry, this content was wrong?
Of course.
Why should this be not allowed to them, their users? Digital media, do you know, we have no numbers?
Yes.
Because so many people are giving gyan every day on YouTube and other channels. We welcome that. So what we have said? Please inform who are you. No registration. Please inform who are you. कि मैं ये हूँ, मैं यहाँ से अपना YouTube न्यूज़ चैनल चलाता हूँ या डिजिटल चलाता हूँ. ये मेरा पता है. That's all. Nothing more. And there is well-known newspaper channels, if they are there, they should also inform. So the government must have a catalogue. In India, there are 2 lakh news channels. There are 5 lakh news channels. There are 10 lakh or 50,000. We have no record at all. Because every day, a new news channel pops up on YouTube. You see that. Again, the same self-regulation for them. And if all this fail, then there will be a committee of government functionaries to take action. And also there is a prompt emergency powers that in the event, let me tell you, I would urge the users of social media, the viewers of Rajya Sabha TV, to see honestly what is happening at times on social media platforms or other platforms, promoting mayhem, violence, and for me the biggest concern, dignity of women. Every month I get tons of complaints from mothers. My daughter is being shown in the most disturbing light. Please do something. Should I ask them to go on filing cases? You will have an obligation to remove it. And if you don't, consequences will follow. Therefore, these guidelines under the Information Technology Act has been issued. The information broadcasting shall handle the media part, the OTT part, and the social media part shall be handled by the Ministry of IT. This in substance is the guideline. Self-regulatory, soft touch oversight mechanism. The government has a little role. You create the architecture, social media or OTT or digital news. Take action, because in the center of all this guideline is the user of social media or the user of OTT. And I trust that this robust, soft touch oversight mechanism which we have laid down to the rules shall be followed by the social media and OTT platforms.
So, but the Supreme Court has said that this regulation needs teeth. You're also the Law and Justice Minister of this country. Am I to understand that we'll soon have a law on this?
You see, the point is, the Supreme Court in many ways is also conveying the agony of the people of the country. In any pending case, it will not be prudent as law minister for me to comment. The system will examine it. The data protection law is in the final stages, you know it very well. A lot of things will be addressed by that as well. But what I'm trying to highlight through my interaction with you is to inform the people of India what we have done. We expect the platforms to follow it rightly and create a robust mechanism so that people of India who trust you in crores for good reasons, they have felt empowered. You must also listen their voice of concern and address their grievance. This is how I see these guidelines.
All right, sir. I take that point. And now let's shift focus a bit and talk about digital India. Now, COVID pandemic unveiled a new digital paradigm. How was it to fight the pandemic as a minister through digital interventions?
In the lighter vein, let me tell you, when the lockdown was there was no rail, there was no plane, there was no highway movement. But the country was run by my department in the communication and IT. Okay? And I am very happy to share that with the people of India through your channel. Do you know that how the country will work? India is the center of IT initiative. The IT professionals globally working in India asked, I liberalize the entire regime of work from home. There is to be crores of security, etc. Humne ka remove all this. The work from home, which was limited, has now become permanent, matured into work from anywhere. 85% of India's system worked very well. Then mobile phone was available, messaging in a proper way to help people reach their isolation centers, etc. If they are trying to move away from there, then giving a warning, please don't. Contact tracing, Arogya Setu, 16 crore people used. You have come in contact with someone who is vulnerable. Please be on the guard. And most important, digital payment to the sufferers. My postal department itself has given 6,000 crores as a doorsteps through finger, Aadhaar-enabled payments. Okay? Now, let me give you the larger narrative of Digital India, why it has succeeded. Prime Minister wanted India to become digitally empowered society. Digital India, which I defined in simple terms, means a movement to empower ordinary Indians with the power of technology, bridge the digital divide, and most important, lead to digital inclusion. And this must be achieved through technology which is homegrown, developmental, and low cost. Let me tell you how we have concretized it in action. Aadhaar, made in India. You must remember the digital profile of India. India's population 135 crore, mobile phone close to 120 crores, 16 to 120 crores, a smartphone 70 crores. They are moving computers. Internet 70 crores. Aadhaar 126 crores. That's the digital profile of India. How we brought it into action? We opened about 40 crore bank account of the poor, the Jan Dhan. We linked that with Aadhaar. What is Aadhaar? A digital identity through biometrics and iris to supplement the physical identity. And we started transferring all the digital payment of welfare measures, of gas subsidy to Manrega payment direct to the bank account of the poor. We have sent close to 13.5 lakh crore in the last 5.5 years. And do you know how much we have saved? 1,80,000 crores, which is to be pocketed by middlemen and fictitious claimants. Today, Manrega payment is not being done through the verification of Mukhiya ji. It goes to the bank account of the poor. The workers who are working in tea gardens to their bank account. In this COVID, we have sent thousands of crores. Our farmers, 1 crore farmer plus, 10 crore farmer plus are getting every year 6,000 rupees in the bank account. How much we have sent? 1,11,000 crores. Also during COVID. A scholarship, close to 5,000 crore have been sent. E-visa, e-scholarship. People from Bihar, my state, wanted to come to AIMS, e-hospital. At a click of a button, you can get yourself registered. The digital movement of India is truly remarkable. One thing I would like to tell you, this Ayushman Bharat, crores of people being given 5 lakh rupees, digitally being managed. GSTN, again technologically being managed, developed in India. Therefore, whether it is GSTN, whether it is Aadhaar, whether it is your Ayushman Bharat, UPI payment, digital payment, India has become a leader in the world in UPI payment. UPI developed in India. Therefore, all our low-cost technology developed in India, and how the DB, TDAT, benefit transfer, what to say? E-education in school, in this whole COVID. बच्चों ने मोबाइल पे पढ़ाई की है ना, स्कूल बंद था. My great institution of judiciary, 70 lakh cases plus were heard digitally in this COVID. Supreme Court, High Court, District Court. Today we could do it because more than 2,000 district courts have become digital. And we have set up a big national judicial data grid. What is that? 18 crore pending cases and 11 crore decided cases and orders are there at a click of a button. And I can know in which states, which district cases are pending for more than 10 years. And I can write to the Chief Justice, please expedite the hearing. The digital profile of India and this inclusion, Samaveshi Digital Bharat, has become a big global movement. All the development countries are asking for it.
And now that we have PM Vani in place, how is that going to transform our digital landscape?
Very simple. What is PM Vani? As we had used to have that public telephone booth, now we will have public Wi-Fi booth. A chai wala, a pan wala can become the aggregator. You go and purchase the coupon there and use in that area. These are how the movement, the Prime Minister asked, normally he takes advice from senior ministers, what should I speak? Any idea for 15th of August? I said, sir, you brought roads to every village, you brought Bijli to every village. Let's have BharatNet to all the villages of India. I was sitting on the Lal Killa, he announced, 1,000 days we will have BharatNet digital connectivity through optical fiber in all the 6 lakh villages of India. This digital transformation of India, infrastructure, services, skill and empowerment is an extraordinary movement in the quest of Human Developmental Index, which the world is also watching.
And now, sir, how are you preparing for the digital census? That is going to be a massive exercise.
Yes, it will. It will. Why not? If today Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha proceedings are available online, you can file your question and notice online. Don't you think in my 20-year plus experience of being a member of parliament, I am myself so thrilled to see it. Therefore, this railway ticket online, plane ticket online, education online, digital payment online, and mind you, the biggest e-commerce, consumers empowerment online, and most of this is being accelerated by demand in the hinterland of India, rural India, e-commerce, etc. I have got a common service center movement, digital khidki, digital window, making your passport, digital delivery of services, e-ticketing. I have also involved them in pre-litigation advice as a law minister. It has become a big movement. It was only 70,000 when I became minister in 2014. Now it is close to 4 lakh. We have a Digital India presentation on the 26th of January. And 2 women entrepreneurs, actual, were also there marching on the Rajpath. About 12 lakh boys and girls work there. And they have become a great, I would say, warriors of Digital India in the hinterland of India. Now, what is important is Digital India has become a big, big mass movement. And where it is Vani or whether it is BharatNet or whether it is digital skilling, because people of India trust that this is flawless, this brings the benefit directly to their bank account, this removes the middleman, and this empowers me.
Lastly, sir, from mobile phones to pharmaceuticals, now to telecom manufacturing and also IT hardware, we have the PLI scheme in place. What would be the impact of the scheme in the coming years, particularly in this arena?
It is very exciting. Since I handle electronics, In 2014, there were only 2 mobile factories. Now there are 260. What is PLI? Come, set a factory in India, manufacture, export outside, and get production incentive. We launched the mobile and equipments in last year, April, height of COVID. All the major players like Apple, Samsung have come to India. They are going to make mobile components for 10 lakh crore in the coming 5 years. Export 7 lakh crore, give jobs to about 8 to 9 lakh Indians directly, indirectly. They have set up bases, production has started also. And Indian electronic manufacturing is great scope of laptop to hardwares to servers, medical electronics, defense electronics, then your textile, then your whole variety of things, charger, batteries. Prime Minister is going to change India, and I'm very clear the world is looking towards India, away from China also, as an alternative. And India's ease of doing business and the Prime Minister leadership is and the asset of India's human resource, young people, will surely going to transform India. And I am telling you, from digital economy itself, we shall contribute $1 trillion to the coming $5 trillion economy, where lakhs will be given employment and a huge amount of GST and taxes. The revenue, empowerment, employment, and India growing as a big electronic model of global companies coming here, Indian companies becoming national champion. Do you know only in Noida, 93 factories have come in the last 5 years. And India becoming a major part of global economy and supply chain. That is what PLI is about.
Lastly, sir, just quickly, I'd like to understand from the perspective of national security, what is the importance, if we look at it through the prism of strategic importance, the telecom manufacturing PLI scheme that we have?
Surely, national security will be utmost. And therefore, we are very keenly promoting Made in India. But if anyone coming from outside, particularly from countries having regional connectivity with India in terms of boundaries, will have to get their security vetted by the system very clearly. Because while we welcome investment, India's security is also important. And telecom being an important component of infrastructure must be should remain safe from cyber challenges, from data security offenses of Indians. Therefore, we shall be taking particular care of that. Therefore, we have come with an idea of trusted telecom sources. Your telecom resource must be trusted and verified.
So thank you so much for this erudite conversation. Thank you so much for speaking.
Thank you. Thank you.